Hello my fellow residents. So, it looks like Valve is going to be getting rid of reviews from people on Steam that are from folks that got games through CD keys and didn't actually buy the games themselves. Now there are two sides to this argument. Now the first one being Valve because, well, they're really upset with seeing a lot of reviews come out from CD key people that are not as good or as honest as the reviews that are coming out from actual users. You see, what's going on is that a lot of users are saying specific things like, well, this game isn't all that good, but then all the people that got CD keys directly are saying this game's fantastic. All the reviewers that got the games first and created these fake reviews basically created a really big influx of positivity that forced a bunch of people to buy games that ended up not being that good, or basically from these reviews just ended up being lies. Now for developers, this is a very big problem simply because, well, hey, if I'm making a game that not a lot of people know about, especially if I'm an indie developer, well, I'm not going to be able to get anyone to buy the game or know about it because any CD key I send out to any reviewer out there, if they happen to cover it, well, that review cannot be shown on Steam. There are two valid arguments to each side, but the problem is I agree more with Valve, and there's kind of a reason for that. A long time ago, I used to work for a company. I'm not going to say what the company is because they will sue me if I mention them by name, and they weren't a game company, so keep that in mind. But one of the things this company did was they created tons and tons of bad products, and they sold these products all over the world, online, and all over the place. But because they knew people didn't like them, and the fact that they had a really large marketing budget, they ended up paying a lot of people in-house to generate fake reviews for all of their products. And what basically ended up happening is whenever you went to go search one of their products online, you'd see a lot of really positive reviews from a lot of people you'd never heard of, and, well, that essentially created an influx of people buying their bad products. This kind of tactic is really, really gross, but there are companies out there that do that. But that's basically what Valve is trying to avoid. A lot of companies creating a ton of fake reviews where they just have no control. What Valve is trying to do isn't actually going to solve the problem though, because essentially all those people that were generating those fake reviews are now going to make fake Steam accounts and just generate a ton of fake account reviews from people who just don't care. Basically, it would work like this. A company hires 5 people in an office to generate a ton of Steam accounts, and they just buy one game, and then they just generate reviews based off that one game. That would be it. It would just be a shit show of a bunch of people making fake reviews all over the place. But I think I've come up with a solution that Valve should employ that might actually fix everything, and even correct this whole problem that they just generated themselves. Steam is one of the biggest online game stores on the planet, and I think a really good feature that Steam could employ is a verified review system. Now here's basically what I'm talking about. We get people that we really trust, like Jim Sterling, to get verified status, so that whenever they review a game, we know that they're being honest. Even if you don't agree with all of Jim Sterling's opinions and stuff like that, you gotta admit, the guy doesn't sell out to any big companies. And I think if we were to get a bunch of people like him getting verified, we could see reviews from people that are honest. Now the big problem is, if they're getting games sent in from regular companies all over the place that are CD keys, it could cause problems because, well, maybe somebody's verified and just getting all these CD keys from all these companies and only reviewing the things that they are basically paid to review. Well, why doesn't Valve control the CD keys? That way, the game companies don't have any influence over who gets their actual games. This would be fantastic. Imagine a whole bunch of reviewers out there that are verified that are reviewing games based off of the games they actually want to play from companies all over the place. That way people wouldn't be forced to make reviews. That way when these reviews come out, they're coming out from authentic people that have no connection with the original companies that developed these games. I think this would work really well if it were to be implemented, but it would take a lot of work on Valve's side. But you know, they're making so much money from Steam, I feel like this would be a really good thing to do. Imagine, if you would, a game comes out from some independent developer that nobody's ever heard of before, and on the Steam review marketplace, even if they don't have a really big budget, someone like Jim or even myself, somebody, I don't have to be verified, could actually just see that game and click to get a review copy instantly and start looking at the game without any restrictions. But anyway, I think that would be the system. Steam verifies reviewers and then gives out game copies directly from their own services rather than other companies out there that try to have some influence and control over the reviews. What do you guys think? Do you think that's an insane idea? Do you think maybe you'll solve a lot of problems? Let me know in the comments below. And share this with Jim Sterling if you want. Maybe he might think this is cool.